Charlatans versus Team Pretty. Let's go over to Rain and Requiescat.
And welcome to the third match of this year's Major League Spring Cup. On red team today, we've got a Roke Ferox Scythe Talwar Slasher. Lovely shield composition there. And they've warped in at all in a cluster at 50.
Yep, and the Team Pretty side, or the blue side, is the Hyperion, Myrmidon, Execura, Algos, and Rifter.
Now it's interesting to see Team Red here is warped in a cluster all at range, and they've got long range ships, but the blue team has got close range brawling ships, and I think they spread out hoping there was going to be something close for that Roke to tackle.
Well, yeah, so the Roke warped in closest, but they came in at like a 90-degree angle, so I think like their whole team is the same distance away, which would be the 50 kilometers. And it looks like the Charlatans have now primaried the Team Pretty Algos at first.
Yeah, you're seeing that Team Red projection coming off the Ferox and the Talwar there. They'll probably have no problems at all applying to the Algos. The Rifter now dropping into deep armor, possibly going to go kaboom in the next few seconds. Looks like he might be tackled by the Team Red Slasher.
Yeah, it looks like the frigates are brawling it out, and this Execura is trying desperately to keep that Rifter alive. And I do believe those are like armor maintenance bots out on the field as well, which can be a huge help that sometimes the viewers can't see that there are reps being applied, but not directly from the Logi ship.
That's right, they are. They are medium armor maintenance bot 2s, and the Execura are now frantically burning into range. They all warped in at long range, and the frigate burned in real close and got himself out of rep range. But now he seems to be caught. He's doing all right. Looks like Team Blue's trying to work on Team Red's Slasher.
Yeah, and the Roke has actually tried to go in and brawl and got caught as well. It looks like both the Roke and the Ferox of the Charlatans are like caught, but I don't know. It looks like they're holding out okay. It doesn't look like they're taking really any damage.
Now that Algos now dipping dangerously low into hull. Looks like he's more or less caught. I don't know. He keeps dropping down to very low armor, and he's gone. How about that? First blood goes to red team.
The reason they were primarying the Algos looked like he was the one to have the Roke tackled, and now this Rifter is starting to take the damage. So obviously you have these smaller support ships, which some people may not think are as important, but they can really hold down a battleship or a battle cruiser and really like keep them there for their team to destroy.
Yeah, I've noticed that about that format. The battleship pick tends to make the most difference in the pick ban phase, but the frigate and the destroyer tend to make the most difference once you're actually on grid.
Yeah, and a lot of people think, like, because as a new player, everyone can fly a frigate, and so they think, oh, it's easy. But these are actually super difficult to fly because you have to be able to have really good piloting, getting your transversal, maybe orbiting at 500 to avoid some of these battleship guns, which can be very deadly to these poor little frigates.
And it looks like the Team Red Roke has caught the Rifter with his grappler. Although he's not anywhere near anything else he could possibly drop that on, and the Roke is one of the grappler ships that does not have a micro jump drive. Meanwhile, the Hyperion is off in its own little corner, and he does have a micro jump drive, so we'll see if that comes into play.
Yeah, and I've noticed the Charlatans Scythe is actually caught as well. Or no, I believe it's Team Pretty, apologies. I think the Scythe is caught. It looks like he's taking damage, and it's only a buffer Scythe compared to the Osprey, which has an ASB, so it can boost its shields back. The Scythe is really relying on that buffer, and then at best, maybe armor bots, or maintenance shield bots.
Speaking of which, he does have a flight of Tech 2 light shield bots on him there, and they seem to be helping him claw his way back. That in addition to the micro warp drive, which is the other notable difference between the Scythe and the Osprey. The Osprey has an afterburner, not a micro warp.
Yeah, it doesn't look like anything's really getting primary besides maybe this Rifter. This is like a game of killing the support ships before you kill off these battleships.
True enough, but the Hyperion and the Roke are both neutron blast, or I'm not entirely sure what kind of blasters are on the Hyperion, but they're both heavy DPS blaster battleships, and if they manage to get in range of a target, they'll probably take it out. And those frigates are key to screening, and they're also key to holding stuff down while the much slower battleships find their way into range.
Yeah, and it does look like they are now focusing. The red team is now focusing on the Executor, but he, like similar to the Scythe, is just holding on pretty well, pretty decently. Not much is being done. He kind of loses HP, then gains it back. Not really in any real race.
Yeah, he's cruising around. The Executor is an afterburner fit, and he's going 600 or 700 meters per second here. Nobody particularly close enough to tackle him or slow him down or make the Roke or Fearox apply damage any better to him. He's just doing his Executor thing.
Yeah, so I'm not really quite sure what the intent of these teams are supposed to be doing. Like, it kind of looks like they're playing a cat and mouse game of nobody, like, kind of seeing who gets caught first to get shot first. Like, this Rifter kind of has the Rogue pinned, but, I mean, the Rogue's shooting at him, but he's not really losing any HP. Everyone else is just kind of flying around, I think, sort of strategically trying to place themselves without getting caught.
Right, yeah, it seems to be a very defensive match on both sides, and we're sitting here at a little over 5 minutes into the game with about 5 minutes left to go. If nobody else manages to get a kill, Team Red will take the match on points based on just destroying that Algos.
Yeah, and Team Red is should be the Charlatans to the viewers. I know we have Team A and Team B on screen, and that's just due to the fancy tool. There's nothing really to worry about. Just focus on what we have based from Biohazard streaming it. Like, Secure is now gaining actually shields back, so either somebody accidentally put shield bots on him, or he wasn't being attacked for so long he gained shield back.
Yeah, and he's dipping, but it's very little amounts of damage he's taking. It looks like Team Blue has decided to start shooting the Scythe finally, and they've applied some damage successfully to the Slasher. I think it's a tough call whether or not they're both playing very defensive games and not getting caught, or whether either team can figure out who they actually want to shoot.
Yeah, and this is pretty surprising because usually what we see, especially with the Hyperion and the Rogue, is just both teams just rushing in, tackling whatever they can, and just shooting it. And the games usually go pretty quickly. But now everything just seems to be doing well. Now the Slasher actually is taking large amounts of DPS, and the Executor was dipping a little more.
The Slasher's got shield bots on it, and I've just noticed that the Hyperion is running a smart bomb, possibly trying to clear those off of him. That could be interesting if that works out for him.
Yeah, a few of these battleships do have smart bombs, and we've seen some pretty epic, I want to say epic plays by them where, you have to remove the maintenance bots to then shoot all the enemy bots or the DPS bots off of your own battleship. Looks like the Slasher now no longer has those rep bots on him.
Yeah, it looks like the Scythe has pulled them back. So you're on your own, little buddy. Meanwhile, the Executor is now hovering around 50% armor. Seems like Team Red has found their target.
Yeah, and I do believe the Executor had bots on him, and now they are gone, or maybe they're coming back. I'm not really sure. I don't think he was close enough to the Hyperion to actually get damage on those. But if that actually happened, that would have been really bad since they are on the same team, and that would have been detrimental.
I think they were the Hyperion's maintenance bots, and he's been cycling through which set of drones he wants to use. He's trying to get that Slasher off him with light drones, or trying to get his rep bots back out for the Executor.
Yeah,
He's got infiltrators out now.
Yeah, the Scythe just took a large amount of armor damage. He's quickly going into structure. Oh my gosh. I don't know if he just lost transversal on this Hyperion or something, but he just took a large amount of damage.
Yeah, and he's burned completely to the other side of the map. Both Logi now entering structure. The Executor has just been trickling down as the Roke and the Fearox plink away at him from range.
Yeah, and those lack of bots on him are really hurting him. He now has some, but they're barely keeping him alive at all. The Scythe is still going pretty low. He has bots on him as well. Sort of a race to see who can kill the first Logi within the last. Now we're down to 2 minutes, and we're finally seeing something besides that Algos die.
And the Executor here, it's the fit on the Executor has an ancillary armor rep, and it's possible that he's in the middle of a reload cycle. Perhaps he let his armor repper reload. Now he's dipping slowly down towards death. Probably be gone by the time I finish this sentence.
Timing. So the Executor is gone, but the Scythe is still alive. This might be maybe the third dominating victory we see today by Charlatans, I believe. Yeah, Charlatans. They are the red team, so they've lost absolutely nothing. The Scythe was going low, but now he has bots back on him, and he's able to hold.
Right, the Charlatans Fearox seems to be able to take a few pot shots at the Scythe here and there to keep him on his toes. We've got 1 minute remaining on the clock. That just flashed on the screen. and the Rifter is now very close to death. So close that he's actually dead.
Yeah, I'm actually really impressed because now we have his Hyperion and Myrmidon, and like they have, I'm guessing like what they do, lose all their drones. Like they were not able to kill anything. The Scythe is still alive, still in structure actually. So he's like can't even passively regain HP like the shield ships do. Okay, now he's go on.
Something we noticed a whole lot of in the EVE-NT Cup was that sometimes people will bring the Talwar to fight, not necessarily because it's very good at applying to frigates, and as I say that, the Scythe goes down, but because the Talwar has a very easy time killing drones. The light missiles on the Talwar apply very well to drones. It's possible that's what he's been up to.
Yeah, and with that, the timer runs out, and there's the clear victor is Charlatans, but no, not everyone died, so I think with that, we'll send it back to Apothony in the studio.